Introduction. The history of the United States is a rich and complex journey, spanning from its early indigenous civilizations to its rise as a global superpower. Over the centuries, the nation has experienced colonization, revolution, expansion, civil war, industrialization, global conflicts, and profound social changes. This document provides an in-depth overview of key events that have shaped the United States into what it is today. Pre-colonial America. Long before European explorers arrived, North America was home to diverse indigenous civilizations. Native American tribes, including the Cherokee, Apache, Sioux, Iroquois, and many others, thrived in different regions. They developed complex societies with unique cultures, economies, and political systems. The Mississippian culture built large cities such as Cahokia, while the Pueblo people constructed adobe dwellings in the Southwest. European exploration and colonization, 1492 to 1775. The arrival of Christopher Columbus in 1492 marked the beginning of European exploration in the Americas. The Spanish, French, Dutch, and English all established colonies, seeking wealth and new trade routes. Spanish colonization. The Spanish explored and colonized large parts of the southern and western regions, establishing settlements such as St. Augustine, 1565, in Florida. French colonization. The French settled in Canada and the Mississippi River Valley, engaging in fur trade and missionary work. English colonization. The English established the first permanent settlement in Jamestown, Virginia, in 1607. The Pilgrims later arrived in Plymouth in 1620, seeking religious freedom. By the 1700s, 13 British colonies had formed along the eastern coast. These colonies developed distinct economies, from the agrarian south to the mercantile north, and increasingly resisted British control. The American Revolution, 1775 to 1783. Tensions between the American colonies and Great Britain escalated due to taxation without representation, restrictive laws, and military conflicts. Events such as the Boston Tea Party, 1773, and the Intolerable Acts fueled discontent. Declaration of Independence, 1776. On July 4, 1776, the Second Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence, written primarily by Thomas Jefferson. It proclaimed the colonies' freedom from Britain. Revolutionary War. The war, led by figures like George Washington, lasted until 1783, when the Treaty of Paris recognized the United States as an independent nation. The formation of a new nation, 1783 to 1800. After independence, the U.S. faced the challenge of creating a stable government. Articles of Confederation. The first governing document proved weak, as it lacked federal authority over taxation and law enforcement. Constitutional Convention, 1787. The U.S. Constitution was drafted, creating a federal government with checks and balances among three branches: executive, legislative, and judicial. Bill of Rights, 1791. The first 10 amendments guaranteed freedoms such as speech, religion, and due process. George Washington became the first president, and the young nation sought to strengthen its economy and international standing. Westward expansion in the 19th century. As the U.S. grew, it pursued territorial expansion through treaties, purchases, and conflicts. Louisiana Purchase, 1803. President Thomas Jefferson acquired a vast territory from France, doubling the nation's size. Manifest Destiny. The belief that Americans had a divine right to expand westward led to conflicts with Native Americans in Mexico. Indian Removal Act, 1830. Signed by President Andrew Jackson, it forced Native Americans off their lands, leading to the Trail of Tears. Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848. The U.S. gained Texas, California, and the Southwest after defeating Mexico. Civil War and Reconstruction, 1861 to 1877. The issue of slavery divided the nation. The North favored abolition, while the South relied on slavery for its economy. Civil War, 1861 to 1865. After Abraham Lincoln's election, Southern states seceded, forming the Confederacy. The war led to immense casualties but resulted in the preservation of the Union and the abolition of slavery. Reconstruction, 1865 to 1877. The post-war period saw efforts to rebuild the South and integrate freed slaves into society. However, racial discrimination persisted through Jim Crow laws, industrialization, and immigration, 1877 to 1914. The late 19th and early 20th centuries marked a period of rapid economic growth. Industrial revolution, advances in steel, railroads, and electricity transformed the economy, with figures like Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller amassing wealth. Mass immigration, millions of immigrants from Europe and Asia arrived, seeking better opportunities, but often faced discrimination. Progressive movement. Social reformers fought for labor rights, women's suffrage, and government regulation of businesses.